Well, it's Friday, October 3rd out here at the Beetle Barn afternoon. Got this thing, so I'm pretty confident it's going to stop now. So it's time to make it go. I've got to get rid of this engine, take it out of here. It runs and stuff, but it doesn't go with the truck. That wasn't part of the deal. And I think Jason's wanting this thing back at some point. We got the oil leak sorted out. It had been drilled, I don't know, full flow or something. Anyway, the plug that was in the end of the case was loose and dripping. We got that sorted out. I do have to let him know, however, that he's missing something out of the back of the carb there. Probably a plug. Just a big gaping hole in there. I'm sure that's not very good for the vacuum. But anyhow, this old engine's got to go, so what I'm thinking I'm going to do is just take this dual port that I did a cold start on once upon a time. It used to be in Maynard years ago, and throw it back together real quick and do a oil pressure check and compression check, and if it looks alright, I'll probably just throw this old guy into that truck for right now, and hopefully get me down the road for a little while. Well, back around last Christmas, my kid had an issue with this generator on his Beetle. It's all worn out there. The pulley had fallen apart and chewed the hell out of things. Anyway, so this generator's got a lot of end play, and I'm not going to use it, but this fan assembly and stuff will work in this tin I got going on here, which is doghouse style, which that engine needs, and scrounged around on the shelf and came up with a generator here that I believe is going to do what I need it to do, if it works. But anyway, I'll put it all together and throw it on that stand, and I'll know whether it charges or not when I start it up. So that's kind of the next step in the process here. Basically what we're looking at here is a generator swap, and in a Beetle or a bus, whatever. I've always found it's easier just to do it out of the car, take the engine out, put it on the ground, and just do it. You can get it stuffed much easier, and it's a hell of a lot easier. But so you'll have your fan shroud on a bench or on the ground, and you take it apart to this stage, and then you got to swap your generator. It's bolted to this stationary plate, which is what bolts to your fan shroud. And then you have shims on either side of this fan that determine the in and out distance, so that you're not rubbing on this stationary plate here or on the inside of the air box, the fan shroud. So I'm just assuming this generator's good. I don't know in fact if it is, but I'm assuming it is. It was laying on the shelf, and at least as of the last few years, when I got a bad generator, I throw it in a pile somewhere else. But hopefully this generator here will be good. If nothing else, then I swap it, because I'm just going to put it on this engine for a test. I'm going to strip it all the way back down and clean it if it passes the test. You know, there's all kinds of oil and crap inside of here, and you know, I'll clean my fan and all the rest of that, but for right now I just want to test that engine to see if that's my my option at this point. And if it is, that's what I'll do. If it's not, then yeah, I'll have to figure something else out. But for now, that was my plan. So I got to go ahead and take this guy apart. So that's what I'll do. Just like that. And then on this end of the generator, you've got this big washer with this oval shape in it, and I'm going to go ahead and lay it face down towards the fan. And on this particular one, it's got another big washer on the other side, and I'll put it face down, actually towards the generator. Everything's going this way towards the generator. And then I got a stack of these shims. They're all on the inside of this particular one, so that's the way I'll put it back on the other generator. Set my shims down, The generator has this sleeve that has that oblong shape in the center, and then the shaft itself is keyed. And this is just a little 10mm. I may have to break down and get a socket, we'll see. Okay, now I got that one loose. There we go. This back housing here is more than one piece generally, and actually this one here looks to be a one piece. Maybe it's hooked together. No, it's two pieces. And you want to keep the orientation of this opening the same as with the generator for cooling purposes. And I think this is in the right orientation. Alright, so that's it for this old guy at this point. Go ahead and set him aside. This one I'm going to put on has all those little bits attached to it, so I'll take them off. It does, however, have far fewer shims involved, so we'll have to see about that. Oh. Okay, so I see why there's so many more shims and stuff stacked up at this point. This generator here, the one I'm going to use, the collar that fits on the generator, you can see has a fairly large end towards the generator and not a real large stack where the shims go in the other washer, whereas the one that was on this thing is the opposite. It's flat on the back up towards the generator and has a big stack of shims. That's why I have so many shims on the other one. I don't know what application this came from, but I'm going to probably put back what was there. Okay, plan B here. What I'm going to do is put the stuff off this generator I'm going to use onto my application. Simply because there are fewer. What I have for this is just a couple of shims. Looks like 4 shims and this flex type washer, as opposed to 12 shims and 2 big flat washers. So there's more parts here to fail. So I'm going to leave those off and go with, if I can make my fan and everything center correctly, with the stuff off of this one. It's just less stuff to break. That's the plan at this point. So first step is to put this guy back on in the correct orientation, which was this way. Okay, so there's that guy. I'm going to go ahead and stack this up the way it was for now, just to kind of see how we do. Basically, I got to make sure I don't rub here with my fan. And originally it had all the shims on the back side. So I'll do that, and then if it doesn't push the fan out too far and rub on the other side, I'm good. So we'll go ahead and set this in its proper orientation. Okay, it's right down there and flush on the housing. You can hear that. Okay, so we got some rub there, which means I got to move some of those shims to the other side, and that's no big deal because I don't know if you can see there, but I got a substantial clearance here between this plate and the fan. So there's, you know, a slight amount of wobble in my fan, not a lot. For the RPM I'm going to run, it'll be fine. And I have a substantial clearance, so I could probably move, basically I could probably move all those shims to the other side. Okay, I think we'll be good to go there. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a little bit of tighten. You don't want to kill it, but you definitely don't want it coming loose going down the road. It's a real pain if you're hundreds of miles from home or whatever. You end up pulling the engine by the side of the road and hoping you have enough pieces to put it back together. This air gun here is not really strong anyway, so that won't come apart. Alright, for those who haven't seen this engine starting stand in one of my previous cold start type videos, I'll go ahead and give it a quick look. What I got's an old transmission. Pretty much gutted out. It was a 6 volt tranny, but I've you know, reamed the housing out to fit the 12 volt application. Anyway, it's on this frame, all scrap metal crap that I've, you know, gotten over the years. Right now I got it on a set of wheels. We'll see if it dances or not. Usually it just sits on the 4 feet, but I've been moving it around here and there, so it's on some wheels in the middle. Temporarily, but anyway, got my my ignition switch, got my idiot lights, generator and oil. I think it's generator and oil, and a push button starter. I have a voltage regulator actually installed right down here, all wired up correctly, and then just a couple cables laying on the ground to hook a battery to it. Little fuel tank, and yeah, that's kind of what I use for testing engines rather than trying to start them up on the floor. I just stick them on this stand here and light them up. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna light this thing up, let it run a bit, warm up, and then I think I'll do my compression test after that. I'm going to incorporate into this an oil gauge, oil pressure gauge. I don't have an oil pressure gauge right now. My dad had some trouble with one of his Golfs. The idiot light was coming on. Changed sending unit, still coming on just intermittently when he's running down the road. So I took my oil gauge and installed it in his Golf so he could monitor the pressure while the idiot light was on, just to see. And it was something in the wiring. I don't know what he ever figured out, but there was nothing wrong with his oil pressure. Anyway, needless to say, I no longer have a gauge to install here, so I'll have to buy one of those before I can check the pressure on this thing. But I can go ahead and start it today, just kind of listen to it, and check the compression. So I'll set you on a stand here when I'm ready to light it up. Got to throw some fuel in the can there in the tank and do it. Well, I got no clue what to call this. It's not a cold start. It's not cold out here. I got a t-shirt on. Anyway, this thing hasn't run since the last time I did cold start it on this stand. So I got my blower tubes here all taped up. I guess I'll hook the battery up. I put some fuel in the can here. And hopefully I got some go juice in this battery. We'll find out. I got to remember to turn the can on. Otherwise I'll crank it till my freaking battery's dead. Turn the fuel on here. I got two fuel filters. I got one in the line here. And I got some fuel to that one, so it's not too far then to pick it up at the pump. Maybe I can kind of prime the pump if I do that with it. I don't know. I just don't know. Anyway, make sure this guy's not in any hot place. Hot places are bad. I'll move it in a minute. And, alright. Now I got my one idiot light. That isn't good. I need two idiot lights. There we go. Got my idiot lights. It's got an electric choke, which I'm assuming is on. Well, yeah, it's on. We'll find out. Here we go. Well, the oil pressure light went out, so that's a good thing. Looks like my shop help here has decided I need a snort of some ether, so I guess I'll do that. I haven't checked if I have spark, but I'm pretty sure I got all my wires attached correctly in the correct locations, so should work. A little dab will do you. Hopefully. Deal here. Where's the float stuff? Actually, this is empty now. What are the odds that I shut my... Oh! I shut my petcock instead of opened it. What a stupid ass. Okay, we'll try this again here now that I've got the petcocks opened. The dumb shit, I shut it. So whatever fuel was in there since the last time 2 years ago. Dumb shit. Okay. I have confidence now, so we're gonna hold the choke closed and do it that way. Alright, now I'm fucking cool. Probably enough to actually fill the bowl. It helps when you turn the gas on, but I can see it. If I knew what I was doing, I'd be better at it. A little bit warmer now. We'll see how it runs. A little bit of a stutter off the idle there. Sounds pretty good. It might be a viable engine. Thanks for watching.